Hello and welcome to another video of mine. It's Ousmane Dembele and this is another Chelsea transfer news video for you guys, where I'll keep you guys up to date with all the latest Chelsea news in the past 24 hours and some big reports and big news stories. Of course, today is transfer deadline day, which pretty much has ended. No incomings for Chelsea, no outgoings for Chelsea. As I reported at lunchtime, I made a news daily deadline day video for you guys. Spoke about Gilmour staying, Alonso, Emerson staying. Gave you guys news update this around lunchtime, so go and check it out. And as I said, we're not going to be signing anyone in the January transfer window, but this video is more focused on the summer, as there have been latest reports that Chelsea are interested in both Hakimi and Ousmane Dembele. And finally, we're discussing something a bit more sensitive, and there has been reports that Roman Abramovich has actually sent a letter to the whole Chelsea first team squad about the racism issue, as Reece James has come under a lot of abusive racism, which is unfortunate, which I'll be delving into in the final part of this video. But before I do get into all the interesting topics, make sure you smash the like button, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and comment down below your thoughts, opinions in the comment section below. But let's get straight into it. Now, starting off with the biggest story, and that is on Hakimi, the right wing back / right back for Inter Milan. And this report has been broken by Mail Online Sport. They're stating that Hakimi is open to a move to the Premier League, with Inter Milan ready to allow the defender to leave for around £40 million due to the financial struggles. Chelsea and Arsenal have previously shown interest. Now, if you cast your minds back to 18 months to 2 years ago, before the emergence of Reece James, he was actually a priority signing, Hakimi. He was a club target. The club were really interested in him. They wanted a world-class potential right-back. As he was ageing at the time, we didn't really have a world-class right-back before the emergence of Reece James. And after Reece James had a superb loan spell at Wigan, that's when the club cut ties for chasing Hakimi. Hakimi then had that loan at Dortmund, which ended, and then he permanently moved to Inter Milan just recently, under Antonio Conte. And this makes a lot of sense. Now, I'll be delving into my thoughts, opinions on the type of player that he is, and if I think this is realistic. But it makes sense, the fact that Inter Milan are actually in financial struggles. Now, a lot of clubs are in financial struggles, which is obvious because of the coronavirus pandemic. Hence why you haven't really seen massive mega deals done in the window. Name me a club right now that's done a massive incoming transfer this window. Maybe apart from Martin Odegaard for Arsenal, by the way, which is a loan move. There hasn't been a big name permanent transfer, and there's a big reason, because we're in a pandemic. Clubs, they haven't got enough revenue streams. There's no fans in the stadium. They're paying astronomical wages to players, so it's financially a massive burden on them. This makes sense that Inter Milan are in financial struggles. They've got issues with their Chinese owners as well. Syria struggling, Italy's an economy struggling, no fans is hurting them. And Inter Milan, they've spent a lot of money under Antonio Conte, over 200 million in the past 2 years. So of course they need to offload some players for financial fair play, the fact that they're struggling financially. Now, I don't see how Chelsea come into this. I understand that Inter Milan are in financial struggles. They need to offload some players. Hakimi is one of their best players, by the way. But this doesn't really make too much sense. Now, I know why this report's come out, because we've switched to a three-back system. Thomas Tuchel's thriving off this system. Callum Hudson-Odoi's, been one of our best players, back-to-back man-of-match performances. And so Hakimi, he's a right wing-back for Inter Milan, and you see the link. But it doesn't make too much sense, because we have Reece James who can play in the right wing-back spot. We've got Hudson-Odoi who can play in the right wing-back spot. And you can even possibly play Azpilicueta in the right wing-back spot, although that wouldn't be too ideal. Secondly, three-back, in my personal opinion, is not the permanent formation we're going for. Tuchel likes to change his formation. He uses a various amount of formations. As I keep stressing, his principles, his philosophy and identity always remains the same. The way that he puts his philosophy across, but the formations always shift. But he predominantly uses the 4-2-3-1 more often, and again he does use the three-back, as we've seen in the previous two games. And Hakimi is not a right back. Just like Alonso, they're fantastic wing backs, but he's not defensively good enough, especially when you come to the Premier League. The Bundesliga and Serie A are a different kettle of fish. When you come to the Premier League, when it's so physical and intense, you have to be on your game defensively. And I don't think Hakimi's developed that part. He's young, he's going to learn. But I don't see how this makes sense. We've got Hudson-Odoi can play right wing back. We've got Reece James, Azpilicueta. We've already got a massive squad. I think there's other priority areas that we need to fix, i.e. goalkeeper. I think we need a world-class centre-back. You could potentially argue we need another midfield. You could even potentially argue we need a striker. There are some key positions we still need to strengthen, and we need to offload a lot of players. So I think that this doesn't make too much sense. But my thoughts, opinions on the player: is a fantastic player. Young, huge prospect, fantastic crossing ability. He's dribbling, his pace, an absolute speed demon. his intricate passing, his technical ability. He's a very good talent, but I just don't think it's a player that Chelsea need at this moment in time. But what do you guys think? Do you think I'm wrong? Leave me your thoughts in the comment section below. But let's move on to the next story, and that is on Ousmane Dembele, another player that Chelsea have been linked with. This is broken by Sport via Sport Witness. They've stated that Ousmane Dembele has already expressed his desire to continue at Barcelona, but if contract negotiations break down, Chelsea and Juventus will push hard for the Frenchman. Now, we know the talent of Ousmane Dembele. We know the quality, we know the technical ability, we know that he's a top player. There's a big reason why Barcelona splashed all that big money on him a few years ago. And it hasn't quite worked out because of his massive injury issues. You know, he's nicknamed Dembulance because of the fact that he's always in hospital, he's always in the ambulance. Yeah, as I said, Dembele, we know his qualities. Now, again, this is something that I don't see how Chelsea are in this. Now, we need to understand. Let's look at context here. He currently plays in La Liga, in the Spanish league, and he gets injured on a consistent basis. You know, I haven't seen Ousmane Dembele. We know the quality talent that he has. I love him as a player. You know, left-footed, right-footed. You know, fantastic technical ability, great dribbling, great movement, agility. Phenomenal player. But his injury records, you know, I've never seen this guy play several weeks or several months in a row, back to back. Without getting injured, and it's a massive worry. And don't forget, he's playing in La Liga. Imagine when he comes to the Premier League, the most intense, the most physical league. You know, this guy wouldn't even last 2 weeks before he gets injured. You know, and don't forget, if you sign him, which is going to cost us around at least 60 to 70 million pounds, which is a lot of money. I know he's still young, but if he consistently gets injured, he's going to demand high wages on top of that. You're only paying hundreds of thousands of pounds a week for a guy to essentially sit on the hospital bed. You know, it's a massive financial strain, especially in the COVID pandemic that we're in. And I think, as this report stated, Dembele, his main focus is to stay at Barcelona. So if you do sign him, you're not his first priority in a sense. But again, I'm not doubting his quality or ability. He's a fantastic, world-class player. I'm worried about his injury issues, and I'm worried the fact that, you know, we play in the most physical and hardest league in the world. You know, the likes of Havertz and Werner are struggling to adapt right now, and they've already expressed the issue with the intensity of the league and the physicality. Imagine the likes of an Ousmane Dembele coming, he'd get absolutely crushed. I don't think that this would be a wise move, but listen, on technical ability, this guy is up there, one of the best wingers in Europe. He's a fantastic winger, but I just don't think with the injury records, it worries me. You know, if we do sign him, I'm convinced there has to be some clause where, you know, that his wages get cut off as soon as he gets injured, or, you know, we don't pay that much, we get a reduced price because of his injuries. I mean, there has to be something, because his injuries are a massive concern. But let's move on to the final story of this video, and this is a bit more of a sensitive one. A letter has been written by the Chelsea Official Football Club, and especially Roman Abramovich. He's written a letter to the full first team squads. I'll get the letter up on your screen right now. And this is in regards to the racism. Now, if you guys haven't noticed, very recently, Reece James has actually come under a lot of racism and racial abuse from random fans. I don't want to call them fans; these are kids, ignorant, disgusting individuals. The fact that racism is still a thing in 2021, you know, we are all one race. We are the human race. The fact that I'm speaking about this in 2021 is incredible. It really is. It's simply disgusting. And Roman Abramovich wrote a letter to the whole first team squad in regards to the abuse, and he's going to do a lot of important work to tackle racism. And this is what I mean. A lot of credit needs to go to Roman. I'm not going to mention names here, but there's certain other fan channels that essentially say that Abramovich needs to go. It needs to be Roman Abramovich out. You know, the guy is one of the best owners in football. You know, the success that we've had is all down to Roman. You know, we owe him everything. All the Premier League titles, the Champions League, all the success, all the tears and joy that we had, the players that we have at our disposal is all down to him. All the pandemic work that he did, all the COVID support, financial support. He spent over £200 million in the COVID market. The amount of success. He's always said all the time, he's not, running Chelsea for money. He's running it for the success and for the joy. And, the fact that we have a passionate owner, it means a lot to us. And the fact that he's now trying to tackle racism shows how much of a good human being he actually is. And I think that it's incredible work. But seriously, this issue needs to stop. It needs to stop because it's simply unacceptable. It is simply unacceptable. And as I said, the fact that I have to speak about racism in 2021 is simply incredible. It's something that needs to be resolved. But for me, unfortunately, I don't think that, not in my lifetime or anyone's lifetime, but I don't think racism will completely ever be eradicated. Sure, it can be improved, it can be reduced, but I think that, racism it's going to be very difficult to eradicate. I think it's near on impossible. It's a very, very difficult, subject, and yeah, it's not nice. Especially Reece James. Wonder how he's feeling. It's not good. Of course, it's not good. But I'm going to wrap up the video there, guys. If you did enjoy this video, to smash the like button, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and comment down below your thoughts, opinions in the comment section below. And I'll see you all, guys, for my next video. Peace.